You're listening to the Adventurous Reinvention podcast. I'm Allison Boyle, aka She Dreams of Alpine, and this is the show that's dedicated to all the adventurous spirits out there who have either been transformed by the outdoors or are interested in what it looks like to step into a new, adventurous, and courageous kind of identity in their life. It doesn't matter what your background is in the outdoors, what age you're starting at, or where you grew up. If you're curious about the outdoors and using adventure as a way to reinvent yourself, you're in the right place. I'll be sharing all kinds of personal adventure stories, lessons I've learned from the mountains, teaching what I know about the outdoors and leadership, and interviewing some amazing adventurous women all along the way. I've been coaching women on becoming safe, confident, and self-sufficient backpackers and leaders of their own adventurous lives since 2018, and I know exactly what big fears and self-doubts can pop up along the way. I have so much to share with you, so let's dive in. All right, hello. Welcome back to the Adventurous Reinvention podcast. Today, I actually have one of my very close friends with me on the podcast. Her name is Charlie. I have definitely talked about her before on the podcast, so if you have been listening, you have probably heard me say her name, and she's been on a few trail podcast episodes. So the Bar Trail and Escalante route. So if you've listened in, you've also heard her voice, but it was time to officially have her on as a guest, and she's next to me in the kitchen. And what I wanted to talk about today was, just something that I've been thinking about a lot. So it's going to sound weird when I introduce it, but just stick with me. My thought around this episode is I wanted to talk about doing hard things, and particular for women. It sounds like a little bit of a platitude when you say women can do hard things, but I really want to lean into the doing hard things bit. And that's why I wanted to bring Charlie on here. And I also wanted to emphasize not only can do hard things, but want to do hard things. And I think that as women in particular, a lot of us have been told a lie that we should be so scared of things, and men are the stronger sex and they should be the leaders, or they're natural leaders, or they're the ones who take charge, especially in things like the outdoors or these spaces, which we talk about a lot in this podcast. And I know I have been uncoupling that for a long time. And a lot of our programs are around empowering women to see themselves more in a leadership role in the outdoors. And I think women make great leaders. And I think they can also do very hard things and harder things that they can give themselves credit for. And that's including me. So Charlie, I think that's so maybe Charlie, introduce yourself. You can say hi. I've been just rambling. So Charlie's here.
Hi, everyone.
I thought it might be fun to start off with our origin story a little bit.
I like it.
Just to set the stage, because that leads into Charlie actually pushing me to want to do something I've never considered possible for myself, almost. So I guess we'll start at the very beginning. So I'll say where I was and you can say where you were. I entered, what was it? This year's 2026, so it was 2025 that we met?
Yeah.
Gosh.
It feels like a lifetime.
I feels like I've known you forever. It was 2025. I had been climbing with a group of ladies in 2024, but a lot of them, things had changed in their life and they weren't climbing as regularly. And so I found myself at the beginning of the year with not a consistent climbing partner anymore. And Michael wasn't climbing either. And prior in my life, I had only really climbed with Michael, which is another part of the story we'll bring up later. But, so I didn't know what to do. And I was I saw our local gym had this league called Adult Bouldering League. And so I signed up for it. So where were you when you got to that moment?
I was in a very similar place, I think. I had moved here less than a year previously, and my partner, who I had always climbed with and had been my consistent climbing partner, was suddenly getting super into ultra running and didn't want to come to the gym with me. But it also, that kind of made me want to try hard at something as well, because he was suddenly training all of these
for
hours.
like 100 miler, right?
Yeah, he signed up for his first 100 miler. So I was like an ultra running widow, but then it also made me like jealous of his goal, I think.
Yeah.
And also made me realize that if I wanted to keep climbing, I needed to go out and meet other climbers because I've never enjoyed doing it as much by myself.
Yeah.
And so that is what made me sign up for Adult Bouldering League.
Yeah, like I was in a space where I've always liked bouldering, but I was actually in a space where I wanted to start lead climbing more because that's what I had been working on the year before. And I finally got over a lot of my lead climbing fears, but then I lost my partners and I had no one to climb with. And so, but then I don't know why. Well, that's what they just had going on, Adult Bouldering League.
Yeah.
And so we signed up for it. And then both of us, I think, like, we just started, I don't know, at first I think I just, like, thought you were cool. I was like, oh, we climb similar grades. I like Charlie, I like her vibe. And so we just kept seeing each other for, like, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was your experience, too, but...
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think it's rare to, like, find someone who's projecting the, like, exact same boulders that you are. And it's fun to, like, work on them together. And especially when it's another woman. That's, like, great. And we, like... had easy banter from the get-go, I feel like. Yeah, good vibes from the get-go.
I think, like, we were both a little bit shy, so I feel like we didn't, like, push it outside of the Adult Bouldering League too much.
Yeah.
Until there was this one moment where they opened up sign-ups for a sport climbing league.
Dun, dun.
And I signed up for it, and then I mentioned it, and you were, like, nearby when I mentioned it to somebody that had signed up for sport climbing league, and you were like, I signed up too.
Yeah.
And that's when I instantly knew. I was like, she does both. Because, like, I feel like a lot of people are just boulders or just sport climbers.
Yeah.
That's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like sometimes the rare person who, like, really enjoys both.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you were like, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, do you want to, like, climb also not during sport climbing? like the awkward adult friendship intro. But Charlie leaned in. She was like,
I was nervous because at that point I had not been on ropes in a long time. And I knew I wanted to get back into lead climbing, but I felt very rusty and very nervous. And so I think I led with, like, I'm a great belayer.
Yeah, you did.
Cover up the fact that I was going to be really terrible at the actual climbing
I forgot about that because you said that. You were like, I'm an amazing belayer. And I was like, me too. And I was like, people never lead with that confidence, like being a good lead belayer. And that was an instant green flag for me. I was just like, great. This is what we all want. We want a really on top of it, lead belayer. And also, like, I can't remember if we had given each other, I think we also talked a bit about our backgrounds. You had been climbing for like 10 years and I had been climbing for like 10 years.
And that's reassuring.
We had a lot of outdoor experience as well, which is reassuring.
It is.
So, yeah, the stars aligned. And we quickly started climbing multiple times a week together. So the friendship was fast, though she's a Taurus and I'm a Scorpio, and I'm told that is like common.
Highly recommend.
We just both go straight into loyalty and stability.
Yeah, we were like 0 to 4 days a week hanging out. That sounds great. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah. So that was the blossoming of our friendship, and it just continued. And then I think, in the beginning you're always a little nervous to like mess up the balance of it, but I think we got to a point where I don't remember exact circumstances, but I just remember asking you one day and being like, we were thinking about what we wanted to work towards or why we started off just climbing together, a little aimless, I guess. And then I don't know what we were thinking about, something we might want to do together to like work towards.
Yeah. I think we were just talking more broadly about the idea of a goal and how I think we both kind of wanted a goal because we knew it would give a bit more direction to our climbing, and that's something I had definitely never really had before, but kind of knew that I needed a goal or otherwise you're just like training with no purpose.
Yeah, it's a little bit more aimless.
Yeah.
Also, like, goals just help push you into that next level better, easier, I think, because otherwise, you don't have something you're kind of like goal posting against, I guess.
There's nothing to like work towards.
Yeah.
And I think once we started, 12A has like been in the back of my mind for a long time as like maybe one day it would be cool to get there.
Yeah.
But I had never like said, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, I remember asking her, I was like, if you could do any goal, because I was like trying to decide, like, should we do bouldering or should we do sport climbing or should we do, the trad was even there, or should we like sign up for, there was an event called Horseshoe Hell we were considering, which is like a different type of thing. It's like volume.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I've always wanted to do a 5:12 lead. And I was like, what? I remember being like,
excuse
is
me.
that crazy? What? I was like, a little big for our britches, don't you think? Like, I don't know. I just have never, like at that point, I was just starting to lead more consistently, but it was like 10s and lower outdoors.
Yeah.
Indoors is a little different. I find you feel more confident on a little bit harder
For sure.
stuff, but like outdoors, I hadn't really gone beyond 10. So like imagining doing a 12 felt wildly out of my league at that moment. But then like you were so confident about that being your goal that I was like, yeah, fuck it.
It just felt like the number. It's just more motivating to me somehow than like an arbitrary
No,
lower
it's so good.
number.
And
yeah,
I'm surprised I hesitated so much because I usually am like, there's no downside to me in setting a bigger goal.
Yeah.
Because you will usually hit those intermediate goals along the way to the big goal anyways. But yeah, that one I think like part of it is because historically with climbing, you know, I'd always relied on Michael to be the stronger climber. And, you know, even he hadn't really climbed a 12. So in my brain, there was something like, that like I wasn't going to be capable. But you said it, and then you said it so confidently, and then I was like, this is my new friend, and we're doing this. And I think I remember I was like, it was actually around the same time of the year that we're recording this right now, but last year. And I was getting ready to go to California, and I spent like a whole day creating a whole like training plan tracker. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just like, I asked one of my friends for some like advice from past, he was like a strong boulder, and he gave us some tips, and I made like a printed out whole Office Depot.
It was great.
Folder. And I was like, I hope this doesn't scare her away.
No, it felt very special. I was like, how, like, Alison is like committed to this and organized, and like I can bring the psych sometimes, but I definitely don't bring the organization.
Yeah. So it was one of those moments where I was showing my freak flag, where I was like, I'm about to go deep on this goal that she told me she's interested in, and I'm either going to scare her away or it's going to bring her closer.
I was all in.
Because I remember like showing up to the gym, I was like, I made these. Yeah. Is that a green flag?
It was a huge green flag. I was like, this is amazing. We're doing it. It's going to happen. Yeah.
So, let's transition to, actually first, before we do that, like the 5:12 goal, I kind of just adopted it because you said it out loud. But like, I'm curious, what was it that kind of, you had your sights set on it? Like, what first introduced that to you? I mean, it is a classic like climber goal.
Yeah, it
like,
feels like there's even a book, right, called How to Climb
5:12.
5:12, yeah. So it's like in my mind as like a benchmark for non-professional climbers to shoot for. And I remember it must have been like 6 years ago. I don't know, a long time ago, maybe more than that. I'm getting old, time does weird things. But I watched a Real Rock with some friends, and me and one friend in particular just got really psyched, but from the video of Margot Hayes sending, I think, bibliography.
Oh yes, I think I remember this. Yes,
just like cried so much when she reached the chains, and I was like, I want to like work that hard and like attain a goal. Like that process just looks really interesting to me.
Yeah.
And the next day, me and this buddy went out, and we like pieced together between the two of us this 12A.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I'd ever been on a 12A, and like between the two of us, we like let it in chunks and eventually clipped the chains.
Yeah.
And that was just such a like groundbreaking moment of like, oh, this would be
This is
possible if
possible.
I committed to it.
Yeah.
And then life happened and I never committed.
Yeah.
So I think it's been in the back of my mind since then. I was like, I still want to do that, and I still want to try really hard and like work towards a goal.
Yeah.
And I'm finally doing it.
How would we describe it, like the 12 goal to somebody? Like, a lot of my audience isn't climbers.
Yeah.
And so I know sometimes, I'm so sorry, you guys. I talk mostly about hiking and backpacking, but I also like indulge in my climbing passions. I know we have some climbers here too, but if we were trying to describe a 512 difficulty in relation to maybe more hikers and backpackers, how would we do that? What would be like the 512 of a like backpacking goal?
That's difficult to.
It's difficult to
comparison
quantify.
almost,
Yeah.
because
It's different muscles.
it's like even something like the PCT. Someone who's never hiked could go out and like do the PCT.
Yeah.
If
But I don't
the
think somebody
stars
who's never
align.
climbed could go out and do a
No,
512. You
so
just
that's
don't
not
have the
really-
finger strength and
Yeah.
everything.
It's almost like you're a solid home cook and you like make a banging pasta sauce, but you've never really like gone beyond that. And then one day you decide you're going to try and make like a 10-course tasting menu and do a really good. I don't know.
That's great. I was wondering what you would come up with. Yeah, it's so hard to explain. It's just, it takes just another level of, I think for me, I just knew that goal, it wouldn't just like happen, most likely, unless you were just like climbing every single day and just getting naturally strong.
Yeah,
But like it was going to take another layer of like intention and focus.
definitely.
Yeah. And I think I think maybe I overestimated how much it would take because I had never really done it, but I think we're like a bit closer to it now than I thought. I thought it would take longer for some reason,
Right.
which we'll get into. But okay, so like we set the goal. That was last like July.
Yeah.
We started really actively working on that goal in September of last year. We did like our first serious training block and we started getting outside. So yeah, like to flash forward, we started our first training block off of a training plan a friend helped us kind of DIY. That actually felt really good. We got really strong.
Yeah.
It was also nice to practice being focused and intentioned.
Yeah.
We like definitely made it harder on ourselves in some moments because we misread the training plan.
We misunderstood one of the exercises and did it on hard mode for like 6 weeks.
And I realized like there was this one thing he had us doing with hanging or something. And he was like, oh no, you were only meant to do that for like 10 seconds. And we were doing like 10 sets of 10 seconds or something ridiculous. And we were like telling him, it's so hard. I hate this part of the training plan. And he was like, yeah, that's because that's not what I meant.
Did it very incorrectly.
I was like, oh, so good to clarify things.
Yeah, that was a learning in itself.
Yes. And I think also during that time, we started going outside more and we got on our first 12.
Yeah.
But that was like early times.
Yeah.
It was free form in Shelf, which is a 512A.
And it felt very hard.
Yes. So we had your husband with us. He actually like set a rope up for us with some stick clipping.
Some
shenanigans, and then we worked it on top rope, but it felt like almost impossible.
It
like
did.
the top.
Yeah, I feel like none of us could do the crux move that day. And it just felt like very sustained. Like we could link some sections, but we were both falling a lot.
Yeah, it was quite hard, but it was still exciting to like
was.
be trying.
Yeah, definitely.
And like after that, the holiday season came, so we kind of lost our training schedule, but we still climbed like a few times a week.
Yeah.
Kept that up
That's
through
true.
January and still went outside.
Yeah.
A lot. And so we were getting a lot more. I think during that time, what was good for me, and you can tell me if this is true for you, it's like we started getting more volume outside and getting more 10s, and like 10s were feeling more just like warm-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, that exposure was really helpful, I think.
Yes.
Especially, I think I get nervous on rock when I haven't been on it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so the consistency piece for me is really important. And I think that kind of reinforced that lesson for me of like, oh, I can't just take a long break and then come back and get on lead outside and expect to be where I was. I like freak myself out if I do that. And so I have to be consistent if I want to like make improvements.
Yeah.
And so it was good to just, I kind of knew that, but hadn't prioritized it, I think. And so that was a really valuable lesson of like, oh, the gains you get from just showing up every week.
Yeah, to being consistent. Yes.
Consistency is magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has really helped having a partner.
Yeah. I mean,
to do that with.
That makes it so much easier. And
I hate to say that because I want people to never feel like they can't pursue something without a partner. I still think I would be climbing quite a bit, even if I hadn't met you, but it makes it more motivating to like go in the moments you don't want to go.
Yes, definitely.
There have been many mornings where Charlie and I are like, okay, Tuesday we're going to wake up at 6 and climb. And then we'll both wake up at like 5 and we're waiting. We always send, I don't know, we never decided on this, but we always send like a courtesy text, like, I'm awake, just to make sure the other person's going to actually be there. But we always joke about how sometimes we hope the other person texts, I'm bailing.
I really hoped we're going to bail this morning. My alarm went off and I was not happy.
Yeah, we often are like, are they going to bail? They're like, no, they're in a good mood. Okay, I'm going to show up. But that helps a lot when you're like, really told somebody you're going to be there.
Yeah.
But it's like interesting now kind of reflecting back because we've been in such a strong training mode recently. But like actually from the end of October to like April or May, we actually weren't super focused.
No, we had like a couple of mini training blocks in
there.
Like
very small.
But we weren't always the most consistent with them. But I think
we had some consistency in showing up like 3 times a week, but the structure of the sessions wasn't as consistent.
It was hit and miss. But I think it kind of laid the foundation, I think.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know that I could have jumped straight into an intense training block.
Yeah.
It was good to kind of build that volume and like resilience over a longer period of time. I think that's kind of where I've gone wrong in the past, where I've like dabbled with training.
Yeah.
I've like jumped in with both feet from nothing and then just gotten injured in like
week
1.
And we were getting some injuries at the end of just messing around.
Yeah.
Some like minor finger injuries, but like you don't want them to get worse.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say about that? But during that season, we got outside a lot, actually.
We did.
I do feel like in like this past winter, we got outside a lot and we were getting on 11s and we were getting on 12s.
Yeah.
And not, something else people might not understand if they're not a climber is like what we mean when we say we want to lead a 512 is like we want to climb it without falling.
Yes.
On lead, which is a particular type of climbing.
Yeah.
So we have been getting on 12s. We've just been falling on 12s.
Yes.
Or hanging on 12s.
Yeah.
So like we haven't, but that's still progress. It's still like cool to go out and get on stuff we would have been scared to death to like touch.
Definitely.
You know, like I think back to like when I first started lead climbing, I would get on like an 8 and like I would shake.
Yeah.
Because you'd be so nervous. Yeah, cried.
Many like 7s, 8s, and 9s over the years.
Yeah, because there's a lot of mental work that goes into it. Like,
absolutely.
It's not even really like strength. A lot of it is mental.
Yeah.
And just like understanding and risk assessing and like that. And like we've gotten much better at understanding which ones feel safer for falling and not.
Yeah.
But we got on, in April, I got my first 11A outside, which was really exciting. And then Charlie has you sent the first V6?
Yes.
In our gym?
Yeah.
And then I got a V6, the same one she got, like, but several weeks later. And then today
was a good day.
Today Charlie got a V7.
Which I think is my first.
Which is wild.
So I'm pretty happy about that.
And I ironically got my first or second V6.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we were smoking today.
I know. I like slept poorly, didn't really eat breakfast. Like all the things
we skipped our training plan session too because we were both just like, you know, just not feeling it. And we were like, well, let's just climb. Let's just have a fun session.
Yeah.
But that worked out in our favor.
It did. It went really well. I think when you are training, it's really nice to sometimes have those just climbing days, and then those feel like a real treat.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's like changed my perspective on like just climbing with no structure.
Yeah.
And now it feels like a reward and really fun, which is nice.
Yeah. So I think like that kind of brings me back to like, so at the beginning of the year, we like we recommitted to the 512 goal. And one of the ways we did that is like, we were like, okay, I think we're going to just try to get it all year and train. And also let's plan a climbing trip.
Yeah.
Because we knew that like having something to work towards would help, not just the goal, but also like sometimes just setting a trip is very motivating too. So we like we're going to go to Red River Gorge in October. So we put that on the calendar, booked it out. That's something we did earlier to like, when you set big goals, a lot of times you have no idea how you're going to get there. This is the one thing when I talk to my clients about it too. It's like you set a big, audacious, feels slightly impossible goal. You're not going to know the how. You're going to have guesses at the how. And our guesses are like, we train for an who knows amount of time.
Right.
We get on a lot of things.
Yeah, we try some 12s.
Yeah, we get on 12s and we plan a week or 2 week trip in a place we've never been to before, which is probably actually not the best logic.
But it will be really fun.
But it would be really fun, yeah. Because I think that's the main thing too. It's like fun was a big piece of it. Like we didn't want to have this goal and then be beating ourselves up about it. We wanted to just have like a lot of fun doing
along
it.
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this summer I was like, okay, I want to like get stronger. I started working with a climbing coach. I climb with Charlie a lot, so she ends up climbing with me and doing some of the structure as well. But we don't always climb together because our schedules, especially this summer, have been like
wonky.
Yeah, super wonky. But that was another layer in like taking this goal even more seriously.
Yeah.
Is like actually like my friend helped us out a lot in getting started with training, but he's like more of a boulderer. And so shout out to Lauren from Good Spray Climbing. She's awesome. People are like, how did you find her? I'm like, literally on the internet. On Instagram.
But I remember you said as soon as you saw some of her content, you were like, I just get good vibes.
I just have a good vibe.
And I think with a coach, that's like really important.
Good vibes. She seemed to have experience. And I also knew she like had experience in the Red River Gorge, which we were going to.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Let's try it out. So I committed to like a 6 month, a time with her. And I'm still in the middle of that. But that has been the last 7 weeks of training. And that has been great. Honestly, both of us, Charlie and I, feel like stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Because I think we've had so much more focus and like the way like we have been working on injury prevention too, and just getting stronger fingers and everything. Like that's been super helpful.
Yeah, that feels really good. And like it was a missing piece before.
It was, yes. So most recently, just kind of like wrap up the ending of like how this year has evolved. We just this last weekend went to a place in the South Plot that is a bit more like not as well known, but a friend of ours had told us about a 12A that because we've been talking about it to everyone, or maybe I have, and Charlie, because she's a bit more shy to me, but anybody who will listen, I'll just be like, we're training for a 512, because we walk around with these dorky folders at the gym, and people are like, it's hard to hide. They're like, what are you doing? And we're like, but it's been kind of cool to be like, we taking this seriously, like, we're serious.
I think that's something I've almost been like afraid to admit to in the past, and like how it's put me off from like committing to training in the past, because I haven't wanted to like, and this is so silly and I feel ridiculous that this has been a barrier, but like I haven't wanted to look like I'm trying really hard at something, and like
but like not feel hard,
like not feel like I'm at a level where
it's worthy of it or something.
To train. Yeah, like I was always scared to like even be in the weight room of a climbing gym, because I was like, I'm just not strong enough to be in the weight room, which is so ridiculous.
It's so silly.
Because everyone is welcome in that space, and like you have to be in there to get stronger. But it was such a mental battle for me getting past that.
Yes, this is such a good point too, because I remember when we first started training, when we would go to like lift the weights in the gym, I would be like, Charlie, can you come? Are you going to be there? Because I'm nervous. I don't know how to do this, exercise.
It's an intimidating space.
Like, I did deadlifts for the first time.
Yeah.
And I had never done them before. And I was, like, really nervous about that for some reason.
I still get nervous about doing new things in those spaces. And it's hard to get past.
Yeah.
But, like, comfort is, like, slowly growing.
Oh,
and
for
now
sure.
I feel, like, way more at ease.
Yeah. And I can go by myself and do all those things. And, like, so if that's... I think the point to drive home here is, like, I know a lot of people feel that way, so I think that is important that we talk about it, because somebody might look up to us and be like, oh, well, they're climbing hard.
Right.
But, like, we do the same thing to ourselves, too, because we know harder climbers.
Right. There's always a harder climber.
There's, like, versions of yourself that are like, well, yeah, they're training. They're V8 climbers or V7 climbers.
Yeah.
But I'm just a V4 climber trying to be like a 512 climber. And you're like, wait, what's the logic here?
Yeah.
I want to take this goal seriously, and this goal is worthy to me. Like, it's badass. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I think I wish I had just, like, had a bit more persistence when I was younger, and said to myself, like, yeah, okay, I feel uncomfortable in the space, but I'm not going to get comfortable by never going into it. Like, you have to kind of work through it to some extent and, like, be uncomfortable and keep going.
Yeah, be willing. You got to be willing to look like a newbie.
Yeah.
And
you
awkward.
Are at some point, and
but,
that's fine.
Yeah, you are. You legitimately are. My first deadlift was ridiculous. I had so much pain the next day. I failed at it.
Laugh. You hurt your back.
You did
not
too.
Funny, but I also did. We didn't do well.
Maybe
Sometimes
in hindsight, we should have hired somebody to teach us the proper form. Sure. But I did go down the internet rabbit hole and did learn how to do them properly. But, you know, that's just what happens. Like, you make mistakes along the way, but, like, you deserve to take up space.
Yeah.
And I've also been feeling that way outside, too. Like, that's been a journey for us as well, because sometimes there's part of you when you go outside and you want to get on the hard thing, but they're dudes. Only, like, it's almost like a male-dominated industry kind of thing.
Yeah, it still is.
It still is. There are women out there who climb, plenty of women who climb.
Yeah.
But, like, especially, this is why I wanted to have this conversation, too, because I think sometimes we discount ourselves from the harder climbs, women, because of many reasons. And one of the reasons is, like, you think you're not a hard climber yet or hard enough, and you don't want to, like, be taking up space. I will talk about this moment, because do you remember when we went out to Shelf and we were leading a bunch of things, and I went up to a 10D that I wanted to do, and this guy was on a route next to us, like fully on it, like on a rope on the one next to us. And I set down my rope to the climb to the right of him. And he's like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, we're getting on the 10D. And he was like, oh, well, I was about to get on that.
Yeah.
And he's this stronger, like more confident climber. And I was just like, and you don't want me to climb this route? And he was like, well, yeah, like I'm about to get on it. And he was literally not on it.
I know, that was really poor.
It was so...
It was extremely rude.
Bro
and
culture.
Sexist,
yeah, and I was just like, I hate that stuff. But I didn't...
Yeah.
I think I said something sassy, and we moved on, and we found a better climb anyways. That was, like, harder, actually, and better. But that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So I think Charlie and I, we just have had to learn to take up space, and sometimes that's a conversation between each other. We'll be like, oh, those are people, are they about to get on it? I'm like, it doesn't matter, we're getting on it.
Yeah.
and you'll be like, maybe we should, like, switch off, or I'm like, no, we're on this.
Yeah.
This is our climb. We own it now. We're here first. So we are getting better at that.
Yeah.
But
that's been a journey.
It's been a journey. Like, it's not always easy, especially if the place is busy.
Yeah.
But this past weekend, we went to the South Plot, and we went to check out this 512 climb. And Charlie put up the first lead. It was like, we call it sometimes a FAF lead, where it's just
lots of
you take a lot of breaks, you're just sussing it out.
Yeah, figuring things out.
Yeah, you're like aiding yourself sometimes, whatever. Just to get a rope up to like play around on it.
Yeah.
And then we started playing around on it, and the first attempt felt, for me, I don't know about you, like the first half of it felt great, fine. I was like, oh yeah, totally manageable, can do this. The last 2 bolts felt like literally the word I would use is like, I can't do this. I'm not strong enough.
I agree. Yeah, the first attempt, the crux section felt impossible.
Yeah, impossible.
Like, it's too hard.
Yeah, because we both tried them multiple times and couldn't find anything that would work for us.
Yeah.
And so like, I literally think I thought it was a strength thing. I was like, oh, I just don't quite have the lock off strength for this or the pinch strength for it.
Yeah.
But you know, so we were like a little defeated, but then you come down and you kind of forget how defeated you were, and you're like, well, should we give it another try? And so Charlie goes up again, and she figured out the beta, which is, it means she figured out the...
like the moves.
The moves.
What you do with your
she
body.
She unlocked the moves.
Yeah.
For her, sometimes it doesn't always work for the partner you're with, for her on that section. And... then you still were a little bit stumped at the end.
I was very stumped at the end. The end still felt like impossible.
Yeah.
It just felt very height dependent. And I just could not, I like tried it a bunch of times. And
it felt like a tall person move.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I think if you were like 5'8", you could just reach the good hold.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
we were
I'm
struggling.
not 5'8". I'm never going to be 5'8".
Well, wait, I'm 5. I felt the same way. I'm 5'8".
Oh, then I'm underestimating.
Wait, I'm like, how tall am I? I'm 5'8" and a half. I was like, am I 5'8" or am I 5'9"? Neither. But yeah, it definitely felt like tall person beta. But she figured out the coolest move, and I remember when she did that, I was like, that's not going to work for me.
I told you, you were like, how did you do that? And I just kind of shouted down like what I had done, and you were like, that's not going to work.
I was like, that's short person beta. And also, Charlie does have some strengths that I don't quite have. Like, she can do some things under tension that I'm just like, how did she do that with her body?
And a lot of moves in climbing are like so height dependent and like body dependent. Yeah. And so, yeah, something that works for one person like
may not work
well not work for someone else.
But I gave it a try, so I went up on my second try, and then skeptically latched onto this hold that you were like, you undercling it, and I was like, okay, whatever you say. And somehow it worked.
It did.
And then I repeated it, and I was like, okay, actually wait, this works. And then I felt really determined to figure out the ending.
And you did.
Yeah, and I did. And I feel like it's because, you know, we were in the energy of like unlocking stuff.
Yeah, because when something goes from feeling impossible to, I just
maybe
did that.
Possible, and now we just have one little thing to figure out.
It's like there's no greater feeling. It's so motivating.
It's so satisfying. So I literally figured out if I shoved my entire arm into a crack, I could get enough leverage to put my foot higher and reach the end hole.
Allison was at the top of the wall just shouting down to me like, I just shoved my
whole arm.
And I think then we flipped and I was the skeptical one. And I was like, there's no way that's going to work.
And Charlie went up and she did it too. So we figured out the whole thing. And now that was like a huge moment for us because I literally think this is going to be our 12.
I completely agree, yeah.
Our first,
It feels like a lot more attainable than the other 12s we've tried. And we just unlocked the moves so quickly, which was really gratifying.
So
but they
satisfying.
Still went from feeling impossible to
possible.
We just did that.
Yeah.
And like that process, I love.
It's so fun. Yeah, like we left that session, even though we hadn't really achieved the ultimate end goal, but we were just so like highly satisfied.
Yeah.
And just giggly. And we were like, I love rock climbing. Like felt like a bunch of 10-year-olds just like skipping back to the car.
It was a great day.
It was great. So we're going to go back to that one. And so the 12 goal might come down way like faster than I was anticipating. I honestly didn't know how long it would take.
No, I was not sure.
I was like a year and a half, 2 years. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like you can do all the moves on a 12, but then you have to keep your head together and like do all the moves on a 12 and not pump.
Yeah.
And lead it and have there's a lot of elements to put together.
Yeah.
And it's not just like knowing how to do all the moves. Because I feel like knowing how to do all the moves is actually the easiest part.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the managing your pump and your mind and doing all the moves.
Yeah, holding it all together.
So that has been very exciting. And, you know, this is what, like, I think one of the biggest things I wanted to do with this episode is just like maybe like you can reflect on this for yourself too, but from the very beginning, like setting this big goal, like I never wanted this to become something where we're beating ourselves up about it for not achieving it. And we just had as much fun as possible doing it. And I think because I have heard people like have conversations in the gym where and especially women, I hear this a lot, where they don't want to, they'll be like, oh, I'm just climbing for fun.
Right.
And so they automatically won't have like a bigger goal they're working towards, which is fine. Like you can do whatever you want. But I always like hesitate to be like, do them two have to be mutually exclusive?
Right.
Like I'm having like the most fun I have with climbing I've had in a long time.
Me too.
In the wake of like trying something hard. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
No, definitely. I think the flip side of that, I've also heard mainly dudes on like climbing podcasts and stuff talking about audacious goals, and they've just talked about like the grind and like the slog of the process. And I think that's something we talked about really early on, of like neither of us wanted this big goal to become like that.
Yes.
We're like, I'm not just in it for the attainment of the goal. Like I'm almost not in it for that at all.
Yeah.
I want to like...
That's just like a way we set our compass so we can we have like a process.
Right. It's just like a point to aim towards on the map.
Yes.
But like I'm interested in like all the terrain we get to go
and all the
along
little
the
side
way.
quests.
Yeah.
Like we're not anti doing like the 9s outside or the 10s outside. They're quite fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like go into a training session at the gym and be like, I hate this, everything hurts.
Yeah.
I'm bored. I'm bored. I want to enjoy all of those. And like some days are hard and you have to push through a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
For the most part, I'm having like a ton of fun.
Same.
And I think that's been like the magic of it for me.
And I think that's all just goes into your intention and your mindset around it. Like there is a lie we tell ourselves sometimes that once we achieve a goal, then we will like feel some sort of like worthiness or happiness or whatever it is. And so then you get attached to the goal in a weird, creepy kind of way. And that's when I think you do yourself a disservice. But if you're like, this is the goal, but like I know when I reach that, I'm just going to set the bar higher.
Right.
Like
it's not the end point.
It's not the end point. It's just a point that I'm working towards right now. And I'm going to just have a lot of fun in between. Like it kind of just changes things for you a little bit.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap up, because I know we need to wrap up soon. But you know, one other big shift for me with meeting you was that like in the past, I had really only climbed with dudes.
Yeah.
Mostly. Like the year before I met you, I had started climbing with women. So that was a shift for me, but like mostly had been with men that I met. And also then Michael, when I got married and started dating him, he was like my main climbing partner. And I would always, what's interesting is like, I always thought like I needed to be with him to climb harder stuff. Mm-hmm. I had this like idea that he was a stronger climber. So as long as I was like following along him, like I would start to become a stronger climber.
Yeah.
This interesting like, theory, but it's actually been opposite for me.
Yeah.
I've become a stronger climber climbing with women. And I think it's because that dynamic is like, we want to be equal contributors.
Yeah, definitely.
And so we show up differently, where I used to default to Michael on things because I'd be like, oh, well, it's too hard, so you climb it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was very similar, like had mainly climbed with men and climbed with my partner a lot. And I think part of it is like, it's different with men. And I think the other part is like, it's different with a partner. Mm-hmm. And it is really easy when your partner is stronger than you to like default to them.
Yeah, because you'll just be like, oh, I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
You do it.
Right.
And then they will.
Yeah, but being with a friend who is like a similar level, you want to like do an equal share of the work. And some days one of us is feeling more like gung-ho, confident, and will like take the lead. But we like switch off and it's very balanced.
Yes.
And it's always like so supportive being outside with other women.
Yeah.
There's like a different tone to the conversations you have. The conversations have a lot more like emotional awareness generally.
Yes.
And that component with climbing with anything you're pushing yourself on is really important to understand.
Yeah.
Like, you can't ignore that when you're, like, working towards an audacious goal.
Yeah, especially doing hard things, because I do find sometimes when I have climbed with guys, if they're doing bad on the hard thing they're trying, they're, like, really upset.
Salty and sorry.
Very upset. And I think we just, like, end up making jokes at our own extent.
Yeah.
We're just, like...
We'll
we just, like, laugh a lot, and then we just
we'll
like...
eat some gummies.
And we'll just, like, you know, blame the universe. We'll be like, it's just the moon. I guess. And move on with our lives. Like, I mean, sometimes we're down. We're like, oh, I wish this had gone a little bit better, but it's not like a big...
short-lived, though. We're not
short-lived.
And I think that comes from the, like, non-attachment to the outcome and, like, finding joy in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just would recommend, like, if you, I would say even to my ladies who are hikers and backpackers, if you have always struggled to, or like you feel like there's maybe a slight weird dynamic with your partner, or like you default to them, start doing things with other women and see how that dynamic will shift for you. Because I think it does, and I think there's a lot of reasons why. So, okay. Anything that I missed from, like, our journey, conversation on doing hard things that you think is worth touching base on?
I think I would just say that, like, I've been surprised by just how fun it has been to, like, set a really audacious goal.
Yeah.
And, like, commit as though it's attainable. Like, not knowing whether it was attainable going in, but, like, acting as though it is.
Yeah.
It's just been, like, so profoundly helpful. And we've both seen so much progress.
Yeah.
And that's just
and that's
really
been
gratifying.
super fun.
And I don't know that would have happened if we had set a, like, more attainable goal.
Yeah.
Weirdly, you know, like, I don't think we would be as strong as we are now.
Yeah, we wouldn't be working quite as hard for it.
Exactly.
Or we would just be taking it a little less seriously. And I think that's been a big shift for me. Like, it's been really fun to be like, I think I've always looked at myself as a bit of an average climber.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm starting to shift that dialogue into, like, I'm a serious climber.
I'm a pretty good
climber. I'm a pretty good, and I'm serious about it.
Yeah.
Like, and now we're starting to, like, make friends that actively ask us about our training plan, and they're like, and I want to say inspired maybe even, like, to try harder too. So that's been fun.
Yeah.
Because we take it so seriously. We have our nerdy notebooks. We write notes.
We shut down small talk.
We don't chat. We take our training seriously. We also sometimes, don't tell anybody, we'll hog a route, because sometimes our training is like, do this time, like 2 times in a row. And so we'll be sitting on a route for a while. And we just don't apologize for it. Because I remember this other day, there's these dudes, they were like, can we get on after you? And I was like, we're going to be here a while. And they were like, but what's that mean? I was like, like a while.
And that's very hard for me.
It was really hard for me too.
But I'm learning. And it feels good to take up more space.
It does.
It, like, gets easier to take up space.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, because I'm, like, really interested in doing this properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, final thoughts. If a woman, we kind of talked on this, but I'm curious what comes up for you when I say this. If a woman listening has her own version of her 512, and this doesn't have to be a climbing goal, but, like, your version of the 512 goal, physical or not, what would you tell her?
Go for it. Like, even if it seems completely impossible, just think about, like, the first step along the road.
Yeah.
And if you can, find a buddy.
Yeah.
Because it is helpful.
It is helpful, but, like, in regards to finding a buddy, like, put yourself in the spaces where you just might randomly bump into them. Because sometimes people, like, say, oh, I want to find a friend, and they literally are not putting themselves in the arena to, like, find a friend.
Right.
You gotta, like, be willing to get rejected and have awkward conversations and, like, go to things with adults where you're like, am I going to be the worst one? Am I going to be weird? Am I going to be awkward? You have to, like, put yourself there.
Yeah, I had wanted, like, a female climbing partner for as long as I've been climbing.
Yeah.
But signing up for Adult Bouldering League was the first time I, like, wasn't just climbing with people I already knew.
Yes.
And so, like, how did I think I was going to meet that
somebody?
person
Yeah.
if I never, like, took any steps to, like, do anything different?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And I can be quite shy. Like, well, I'm just very Scorpio sometimes, just moody and broody, and like it seem like I don't want to be talking to people, but I really do. I'm like secretly want to have friends. I'm just bad at it. I'm too observing is I think what I do. I just like watch people for a long time and they take that a particular way. But no, I totally agree. Just go for it. I also, one thing I'll just offer is like, I see no downside to it. Like there's only upside. I think there's only downside when you get your ego tangled up in it.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, if you leave your ego behind, like there's only upside, and there's been so many little, we call them micro P's, but micro progress.
We should stop calling it micro P.
Micro progress along the way that's like we're celebrating. Like the other day I texted Charlie, she wasn't climbing with me that day, and I was like, I finally held the pinch with the strength of 12 men. It was like I've never been able to do this one pinch before, and it finally happened, and it was like the biggest win. It was a big deal. So yeah, just this I hope is encouraging you to like maybe seek out some female friendship. Don't be afraid to like go into a leadership role in your pursuit of a big goal, like a Masoji type goal, like big audacious goal. Like it's worth it.
It is.
And so much fun.
And I think just because something seems impossible doesn't mean that it is.
Yeah.
And like,
because like, well, it's like that quote. It's like whether you think you can, whether you think you can't, you can't. Or is that the quote?
I don't know.
If you think you can't, you can't. If you think you can, you can. And that's honestly so true.
Yeah, really.
Sometimes we'll be climbing and I'll be like, what would 512 Allison do in this moment? And that helps actually.
Yeah, even in life sometimes.
Yeah.
When I'm deciding what to eat for dinner.
You're like, what would 512 Charlie eat for dinner? Yeah, that's a good one.
What time would 512 Charlie go to bed?
Okay, final wrap-up question. Where do you like see it? Like, let's say we send our first 512 this next month, which I think we will.
Yeah, I think so too.
Where do you see us with this goal like a year from now?
I would like to send a few 512s, I think, to really kind of make me confident that it wasn't just a fluke, just a one-off. But then I would love to set another goal, whether that's like, okay, we've done 12A, we'll do 12B, or like whether it's more audacious than that.
513.
You keep floating this number, and that
now I've become overly ambitious. Charlie opened my door, and I was like, "We can do anything."
I'm open to it. That might be like a 10-year goal.
10 years. 5, 6.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know.
But I'm the same. Like I think I'll report back, of course, but I think we're going to send our first 512 in the next month. It just feels, I was telling my clients, it's like when I first set this goal, a lot of my belief talk was more like, I believe this could be something we do, but I don't know when. Like that was my thought around it. Now my thought is like full belief. I'm like, it's happening. It's honestly just a matter of us getting outside and getting on this problem again.
Yeah, I agree.
So like, it's interesting to see how your belief thoughts change too when you take something seriously. Like you get your mind on board, and that's when it also happens. So yeah, and I'm excited to go to Red River Gorge and see what happens.
Me too.
I'm like a little relieved if we send a 12 before then, because
takes the pressure off
the trip a little bit, because it's going to be quite steep terrain. We've never climbed there before.
It's not really either of our strengths.
But maybe we find something we like out there too. Who knows? Yeah. But I hope that this episode has been helpful, even if you're not a climber. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and thank you, Charlie, for joining me in on this conversation.
It's fun. Thanks for having me.
And I will keep you guys posted on how the big audacious goal goes. And I hope that you get something that you're super excited to work on too, because yeah, it's just been such a fun year, like in pursuit of this. So highly recommend. All right, that's it for today, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Hey, I wanted to thank you real quick for tuning into the show and listening all the way to the end. If you love this episode and you want deeper support in becoming a safe, confident, and self-sufficient hiker and backpacker, then head over to shedreamsofalpine.com/waitlist to learn more about our Backpacking Badass coaching program, where I teach you absolutely everything you need to know to be self-reliant on the trails and stop waiting around on others for the adventure invite. So I'd love to help you more in your journey of stepping into your adventurous identity, and that program is the absolute best place for us to start working together. So again, that's shedreamsofalpine.com/waitlist, and you can learn all about it there. So that's it for today, folks. I hope you get to spend some time outside this week, and I'll be back very soon with a brand new episode. Bye.